Welcome to the Trading with Venus podcast, where we help you establish strong trading habits, generate consistent profits, and create the lifestyle you desire for yourself and your family. Now your host, Raman Gill.
Welcome to Trading with Venus podcast, episode 63. I am your host, Raman Gill. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mario Urlic. Mario started trading stocks in 2003, and he has turned over $20 million by trading his personal account. He has extensive experience in stock markets gained by working as a branch manager for regulated stockbroker HITA Securities Inc. from 2007 to 2016, through which he turned over $160 million. Mario started trading Forex in 2010, and during 2015 and 2016, he developed a unique, highly profitable trading strategy named FXtreme. He is a well-known Forex currency trader and analyst, and he runs a blog called forextrader.live. Welcome to the show, Mario. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Raman, for inviting me.
So to start things off, first of all, tell us a bit about yourself, because we would love to get to know you personally.
My name is Mario Urlic. I'm 47 years old. I live in beautiful historical city Urlic in Croatia, place the Adriatic coast. I'm married. I have two beautiful and clever daughters, a beautiful fair wife who is with me for 25 years and who works with me as well for more than 17 years. I also have a great family, supportive family. My brother's family, my mother, father. I mean friends as well. Without them, it will be much harder to succeed in this job. I have a pretty good and happy private life.
You know, it's very important for us as traders to have that support around us, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, because it's tough and you need to have support from both sides. And I think without it, maybe it is impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are dealing with so much stress every day, or at least, dynamic conditions. So
it can be stressful. I mean, especially during the learning process, and not later on after you solve all the problems. During it, and it's a long time period, so you need to have some help side.
Tell us, how did you get into trading?
Well, I must admit that my wife Nicolina started to trade. At first, it was exactly 15 years ago. And a couple of weeks later, I got as well. And a month later, we already compete among each other who will make bigger profit. So it really was an interesting start for us. We made a huge turnover, and as we had outstanding results, we got an offer to open branch of the regulated stockbroker here in Bronick, and we did it in 2007. That's how everything started seriously, because I worked as a branch manager, and my wife Alina works as a stockbroker then, and during the 9 years trading stocks, we made turnover of more than 180 million US dollars only with shares, and in between more than 20 million with our personal account. It was the years, of very good years trading stocks, and but as you know, the recession started in 2008, 2009, and I saw the problem and what could be the consequence of the Croatian market after that. So I sold all my shares in October 2007, and later on I traded only with smaller amount and with highly speculative stocks. But as I wanted to see some other opportunities, I saw that foreign exchange be something I want, but as the Croatian National Bank didn't allow trading forex till 2010, that was the year of my beginning as a forex trader, and I started to learn seriously and trade on forex. So I traded with stocks until 2012, but then I withdraw all my remaining capital and focus totally on forex.
So since you have the market experience in both the stock and the forex, why did you make that decision to switch to forex instead of trading stock?
When I started to trade forex, I saw forex much more interesting for me, because when I traded with stocks, I can say that it was a little bit boring to me, I saw dynamics of foreign exchange, and I like it so much. So 2 years I said to myself, wow, this is something I want to do in the future, trading with stocks. It was too boring for me. And that's how I started to trade on Forex. My wife stayed and trade with stocks because she didn't like the risk on Forex back then. And that's the main reason. Maybe volatility and dynamics of Forex is something what treat me much better than trading with stocks.
I personally started trading with options as well, so I switched to Forex because options were a little boring. There's more going on in the Forex market.
Yeah, I always say that trading with stocks are playing the sand for Forex, and I guess I wanted to do on the hard way.
So during your trading journey, was there a time when you actually felt like you were hitting obstacles in your trading, you were failing, or you felt like, tell us what that was like and how did you manage to get past that?
For so many times during my Forex career, I thought I will not make it. But I must say that first, I was convinced that I, as a really successful stock trader at the time, sold Forex easily. But I was wrong, and I saw it the first couple of years. I saw all the difficulties, and I could say that I tried to overcome all the challenges, and that there is no better teacher on Forex from your own mistakes. I mean, you learn the most from it, In the first 4 years, I can say honestly, I spent more than $350,000 in trading. But I never thought about it as I lost that money, I like to say that I invested that money in myself to get the knowledge. And sure, this amount doesn't mean that this is the price of learning. It's not. I mean, my goals were high in this job, and I wanted to start a hedge fund eventually. And that's why my road is, let's say, a little bit more expensive, because I traded with huge positions, with huge capital, and mostly my losses were big as well. But as I had a lot of learning from the stock market, I knew that the only way is to get this far is to spend it in trading, how to get real experience, because you can't learn nothing from the demo kinds, because there is no feeling in them. And there is no emotions, and that's probably the toughest part of trading. To learn how to ignore the emotions, and that was probably the last missing puzzle in my learning career. The final success to deal with the psychological side of myself.
So what was the biggest challenge when it comes to becoming consistent in your trading? What was keeping you from becoming consistently profitable, and how did you overcome that challenge?
That's the issue about the psychology, and that was that was for sure the psychological side of my trading was the last and biggest challenge for me. And that problem came out the most when I started to trade for clients in 2015-16, because I traded some results for my personal account with my strategy FXtreme, but I realized that I have problems to implement the strategy when I trade for others. Sure, I noticed that psychology was the problem, and I decided to work on it until I solved everything, So how I did it? Well, by trading, was reading the specialized books as well, and reading about the same issue in the internet. I can tell that there is no asset manager in the world who didn't experience the same problems, and even the biggest ones among us admit that. So after all I've been through, I can say this was my biggest challenge, and my advice is for every trader to start work on that issue as soon as possible. You can be a great analyst, you can understand perfectly the market behavior, but if you don't have a psychological side, so you can fail easily. And there is also a huge difference to be just trader for yourself and to trade for a personal account, and to be an asset manager and to trade for clients. And it's best for traders to set their goals as soon as possible and to train themselves based on that, And I can tell also about the consistency, what that means. In my point of view, I look at like this, to be consistently profitable, it's impossible in this market. Everyone who is searching for that is wrong, because you must lose on Forex. There will always be periods which you will not be able to make any profit. But when you have a psychological stability, you will notice that, and you will be able to cut your losses and not to lose much in that period. There is no strategy which works in all market conditions, and we know that the market is changing all the time. there are no rules. So if something works well today, it doesn't mean work well tomorrow, right? And that's why you need to take the advantage when the market is in your favor. Try to take as much as you can, and when it's not, try to lose more, And that's exactly what will define you as a successful trader tomorrow. In other words, you will be consistent winner because you will win more than you will lose in a certain period.
So just a couple of follow-up questions there. First one, what kind of psychological issues did you find yourself dealing with, and what do you see others dealing with? Because I think that will be, because we all go through that will be beneficial for us all to hear.
Well, I think when I said psychological side, I mean exclusively trader psychological side, not psychology as a normal thing in life. Everything in this market is special, and also each person has something what he's dealing with less power or with more power, and I think each trader is specific, and that's probably the toughest part of everything, because you can't tell someone how to solve the problem about psychology in trading. Maybe I know the risk is the most important part, and too much risk can ruin everything. So when trader failed, it's mostly about the risk. He lose too much, and then he lose money, calmness. He lose the money, he lose everything, and then that mental state is the biggest problem, because sometimes you need months to recover from that, and that is what the biggest problem in psychology. I mean, to lose money, and nobody would like to lose money. When you lose it the first time, second time, third time, that's the problem in trading in related psychology. I mean, the biggest part.
That's very true. So how about, another one is, how do you find, or what is the difference that you find between trading for somebody else, like managing somebody else's account, versus trading for yourself? So if somebody was looking to do that switch, to make that switch, let's say they have been, doing well in their account, and now their friends are asking them, can you trade for us? What recommend that person in order to make sure that they're successful in that?
Well, that issue, I had problems with that a couple of years ago. It's mostly because you want to prove yourself, you are great, you can do this, you can do that in the market, and it doesn't fit that way when you trade personally, because when you trade for yourself, nobody's watching. I mean, when somebody's watching, watching your results and watching what are you doing at the end of the day, right? Then you have fear. Probably fear is the biggest problem, because you have fear from loss. And when you have fear from loss, because you don't want your friend to see the loss, you don't want the client to see the loss, then you have problems in trading, because with fear you can't do anything in the market. And that's why you need to set your risk low, trade for others. That risk must be low. I mean, the leverage must be low also on the you will need. And until you solve all the problems you need 2 years or 3 years to trade for others to see how everything works. And if you trade in the beginning with high goals, with high target, you will not make it because you will have too many fails. If you risk too much, you will also have mental problems and psychological problems, and you will need a couple of years to solve this. Everything is, I would say, everything is like from the beginning when you start trading Forex. I always say for beginners, the biggest problem is to win the first couple of trades, because they don't have fear. And when they don't have fear, they think they can do anything in the market. But the first couple of losses change everything. And that's the same thing when you start to trade for others. You don't have fear because you trade well for yourself, and you start maybe aggressively and risk it than you should. And then when risk happens, when loss happens, and then your mental state is changing. And so I would suggest to go slow and to go with lower risk possible if you want to trade for others.
So in your personal trading journey, was there an aha moment where you find things change for you? So things clicked in place and you were able to get better results. So what was that for you?
Well, I realized that during, I think, my 5th year of my trading on Forex, when I made my strategy FXtreme, I did sometimes such an outstanding result, and then I couldn't believe it myself possible. For example, to double or triple my account with very low risk was a game for me, and not only once, but several times in a row. And I realized that I got it. This is it. This is what I want. But as I said, then I started trade for clients, and something else happened, and I should not start from the beginning. But it wasn't easy to implement my strategy to clients, and that was the biggest problem for me. And that's how I spent another year, solve that problem and to adjust the strategy to client. And during that period, I had also problems, and I finally got it for myself a year before, right? So, but it was definitely 5th year of my training when I realized that I can do it, and I can succeed in everything.
So I think the biggest lesson here is a lot of times I hear that traders, they want to become successful really, really quickly. But it's important for us to understand that it takes time for learning any skill. And, just like you wouldn't start driving and then go start racing, right?
Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, there is no elevator here. It says you must take the stairs. It's a rough road. It's a really rough road, and probably I wouldn't tell. I can't tell for others, but there is no possibility to succeed in over 5 years. At least you need to struggle. As I told you, I am coming from the stock market when I can do everything what I wanted. My performance from the stock market was 400% 12 months. It was good time. And I thought, Forex easily. I'm a successful trader. Forex is similar. So I know the technical analysis. But it wasn't like that. I really fight with myself most for first couple of years and 4 years at least. So much burning accounts but basically everything is related to risk. High risk, you can't imagine what can happen if you lose 2 or 3 times your account. So let's say you burn $1,000 or $100,000. So it's not easy to accept, and it took few months, for your mental recovery and start dealing the market properly again. And then again, you did the same thing. I always say, so you are learning here from your own mistakes, but I think on Forex everybody makes same mistakes, not twice, but 10 times, and that's the problem. You need to accept it, and you need to train your brain on it, and it takes time, absolutely. 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know much, but there is no possibility to succeed on 1 year or 2 years. It's not possible.
Yeah, I think we become masters at falling on our face in this market or in Forex.
Absolutely.
Can you name a person who has had a tremendous impact on you as a trader, and how did this person impact your life?
Well, as I'm a self-learner and self-motivator, I could say that I don't have such a person, but there is no one who has a positive impact on my career that way. But I can tell that I learned a lot from some of the most successful traders in the world, like Bill Lipschutz, Marty Schwartz, Mark D. Cook, because I've read a lot about their journey, and that helped me a lot, really a lot. When I saw that they needed also 5-7 years how to succeed, and how they lost all the money in the beginning, and how they struggling, and all the difficulties they've been through, I said to myself, I can do it well. So I prepare myself. No matter what happens, I will finally see it in my 6th or 7th year, on the 8th year. It doesn't matter. But I said, if they can do it, why I can? I mean, I'm also a human, and you can succeed as well. So I didn't have my mentor. It's really good when you have a mentor or teacher like you. I mean, you teach people, and it was difficult for me because in Croatia there was not so much, Forex wasn't so popular, and as I told you, the Croatian National Bank allowed trading on Forex in 2010. So I tried to find some similar traders or on social network, on my blog, but I didn't manage it. So I learned most by myself here in the office and mostly by trading. That's why I can say that I don't have a person who impacted in my trading career too much.
Now, in terms of becoming successful, a lot of times it's the actions that drive the results. So is there a successful habit that you believe has contributed to your trading success?
Well, I'm fearless and stubborn. And that, as much as sounds silly, helped me to stay in the market long enough to overcome all the problems and to train myself to become patient and calm. Because that wasn't my habits in the beginning. I know everyone says you need to be calm, you need to be patient, and that's it. But that's not easy as it sounds, Most of the habits you have in the normal life don't work in trading. You need to train your brain how to implement all the habits you have in trading. So I used to say that trading is a science, and it really is when you look at all the factors.
That's very true. Is there a book or resource that you have found found helpful that you would recommend to our listeners?
Well, I would maybe recommend Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, which is, in my opinion, the best I've ever read. It's probably the book for advanced traders, but beginners should read it as well. Sometimes it's a little bit boring, but there is so much good things and from the real life, from experience of the professional traders. And everyone should read that book for a few times during the learning stage, And
that's very true. Actually, I tend to go back to that book over and over again, and every time I find something different in it because I am at a different place in my trading.
Yeah, exactly. So you always find something new. You always think you know everything, and then see it doesn't fit like that. So I think this business and this job is you need to learn constantly, and you can learn every day something new. Even like everything is the same. So people will say, oh, you have charts days up and tomorrow is down. What is the difference, But I think each day is unique, and market behavior sometimes is really outstanding, and you really have a lot to learn, and there is years in front of me to learn as well. So I always says that I'm not done, I have so much to learn in my coming years, for sure.
If you could do your trading journey all over again, knowing everything that you know now, what would you do different?
For sure, I would trade with the lowest possible leverage in the beginning of my trading career. Because that's the main problem for beginners. Everyone starts with big leverage because the commercials which attract traders into Forex, they advertise large leverages, large earning, and that's the problem, because everyone starts trade with, leverage of 500 or 200 or something like this, and I would recommend not to trade with more than 1 to 10. In the beginning, it will be the best trade with leverage 1 to 1, right? Because You need to lower your risk. I mean, it's easy to trade later on with big leverage because you know how to use it, and when you have the risk totally under control after you get in the professional stage. But most traders don't have it, don't know how to use the beginning. They use it wrongly because they want to double or triple the account in a week. I mean, it's possible, everybody will do it because there is also part of luck in the market, but soon they will burn same way they will burn the account, and that for sure is something what I would do in the beginning. If I could return myself, I would take low leverage, and because you can't control yourself, especially in the beginning, it's really tough to control yourself, and the leverage will control you. If you don't have the possibility to go strong on the market, you will not go. But if you have the possibility, you will add your position, because market is going in other way than you think it will go, and you will add another position, and then you will add another one, and you will burn your account easily. You will lose 50% of your capital easily, or 70%, and you are over after. I mean, your mental, your psychology don't work after that. You are angry. You want to revenge. You want everything what you can't do, and that's probably my best advice I will give.
Last one, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, the best way is through my websites, forextrader.live and aureusinvest.com. I'm also on all social networks, but there is also fake accounts on my name. So if anybody wants to look at me, be careful, choose the real one. There is official links on my website, so they can find me through the website easily.
We were just chatting with Mario Urlic, who shared with us his insights on his trading journey and what it takes to become a successful trader. Hope you found these useful and will be able to implement them in your trading as well. For show notes for this episode, please visit tradingwithvenus.com/podcast page, episode 63. So that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading week, and I will see you next time.
If you want consistency in your trading, we invite you to join our daily market analysis calls, where we provide the levels to find the best entries and targets on an intraday basis. For a 1-week free trial, please visit www.tradingwithvenus.com. Thanks for joining us today. With much gratitude, your show host, Raman Gill.